Subject assigned to me, communication challenges in public sector undertakings. My objective, to make you think on what communication is all about, because in the audience there are not people who belong to the PSUs or to the government sector, but even to the private sector. There's a term which is written here, fourth generation. Somebody alluded to in the morning on what fourth generation means about. To me, fourth generations, if I was to look at 70s, since Mr. Somshekhar is a journalist, when Narendra was of also that era, first generation, when you had a handful of newspapers, handful of journalists to take care of as a public relation personnel. No business coverage, no business newspapers, barring Economic Times. Few instances of information leakage, few investigator reporting. The PR man's job was relatively easy. Generation 2, 90s, a spurt in the number of publications. Business publications came up in large numbers. From those simple pages that Times of India probably had one page of business, moved to 3-4 pages. People had to interact, not only people from within the city, but in the bureaus. The scope expanded. The competition came on. And because one paper was competing with the other, they were in a mad rush to write what they could. The challenge before public relation personnel grew. Generation 3, last 5 years, electronic media emergence. TRP ratings, and you can go ahead and get it. Public relations challenge came in because the response needed was instant. Generation 4, we'll probably see social media, and I think Kumar Kedkar has left, so I can say so, that you will probably have an Arnab Goswami as head of CNBC, his like a person, and getting into question answers on what your business is all about. So there has been an evolving pattern as far as the media and PR challenges are concerned. The question to be asked, have we changed accordingly? Simple question to yourself, is the setup of public relations in your organization quite like the first generation or the second generation, or you have moved with times? Most people would say, no, we haven't changed much. Question number 2, have your skill sets changed? Are you still busy drafting press releases, right, doing a house magazine, arranging gifts, arranging interviews for the chairman? Or have you moved and said, I am the only professional communicator in my company, hence I will be communicating. My job is no longer arranging a press conference, but to communicate. Which means it is not the chairman who's speaking all the time. It's the PR chief also speaking or assisting him in press conferences rather than organizing tea and coffee. There is a change in role. Kumar Kedkar put another question to me after he received his award and after I received my award. Does the government of India have a PR department? I said, yes, PIB. What is that, PIB? He said, no, PIB isn't really the kind of answer. I said, to tell you very frankly, I agree with you. PIB was conceptualized years and years ago. Have the PIB people changed? Has the curriculum for training changed? People who are regular watchers of news would know that there was a time when External Affairs Ministry had a spokesperson. And anything on a foreign ministry used to be spoken by the spokesperson of the foreign ministry.
You're wrong, Mr. Bhargava.
Hold it. Come on, coming to it. Mr. Narendra, as you all know, he's from the Press Information Bureau, so his reaction was understandable. But question, what I'm alluding to it, he must hear me that. External Affairs Ministry was a shining example of a professional spokesperson speaking on behalf of the External Affairs Ministry. Now, we have, till very recently, Mr. S.M. Krishna speaking on behalf of Foreign Ministry all the time. We've lost track of the spokesperson. Ministers have taken over the role of the spokespersons. Every day you will hear ministers on television whether it is for the visibility, whether it's for saying something, but they are on television. What is the role that PIB is playing now? Has it changed? Is it answering? Is it communication? Prime Minister is on record that our achievements are not being communicated. Whose failure? People who are in the business. First is to understand, as I was saying before I was intercepted, is what is a communication man? Who is it? Mr. Manmohan Singh, in his last 6 years, 7 years, has had Mr. Khare, V.N. Khare, and later Pankaj Pachauri as media advisor. A media advisor can write press releases, can do all these kind of written work. But as a professional communicator, he cannot anticipate the requirement of communication of the public and therefore devise a strategy, package information in such a manner it goes to the recipient. Things have changed. There was a time when communication mattered who was speaking. As long as your chairman was speaking, it made sense. As long as it came in from a prime minister, people accepted it. Take your own personal experiences. Grandfather in a family spoke. The whole family fell in line. Everybody accepted what he spoke. Because in that era, what mattered was who is speaking. In today's world, people want to know why, what, who, where, everything about the communication. Try at your house. You tell your children, let's go out for dinner. Immediate response will be, why are we going out for dinner? Where are we going out for dinner? You suggest we are going out for Indian food, they'll say, why not for Chinese food? There is an appetite change as far as communication is concerned. So therefore, coming back to the question, have we changed to conform to the changing dynamics? Have we taken cognizance of the way our electronic media functions? Have we instilled enough confidence in our chairman or the concerned secretary in the government of India that yes, I can be the professional communicator to represent the company? The question remains unanswered. Some companies have moved forward. Television channels are represented at the district level. A company like NTPC, I met somebody in the morning from NTPC. They had organized a workshop in Gir last year and brought in their plant managers. I was one of the speakers invited there. Mr. Bhargava, how do we instill sufficient confidence in them that they can handle the media when an emergency arises? Now, how many companies have emulated this example? Because if some emergencies to take place in a district level where your manufacturing unit is situated, television will be reporting from the site. You are in the corporate office. How do you respond? Have you prepared themselves to hold the first 30 minutes before your image is blown to smithereens? Now, things are changing. The question, are we arming ourselves? Now, we are traditionally poor planners. I have very often quoted, you look up the Ramayana, look up the Mahabharata, everything is incidental, accidental, coincidental.